We're going to look today at measures of central tendency. We're going to review the definitions of mean, median, and mode, and then we're going to calculate them. Okay. But just as a quick warm-up, because what we had done last day was look at different types of displaying data. Okay, so we want to figure out, well, what's the best way to display this particular type of data that we have here in our warm-up. So for each situation, just classify the data as either discrete or continuous, and then determine the type of graph that would best suit it. Okay, so let's start off with question number 1. So the number of students on each sports team at WO. Okay, well, you can't have half a person, and so therefore it's got to be discrete. Okay, so this is discrete data. Okay, and then the type of graph that would probably best represent this particular situation, I would argue that it's likely to be a bar graph of some type. Okay. The ages of first-time mothers in Wilmot Township. I would argue that this is continuous data because they can be in different ranges. Okay, so we'll put this as continuous data. Okay, and continuous data could best be described as either a line graph or a histogram. In this case, because we're looking at age ranges, I would say that the histogram is the best way to look at this. Okay. And then for number 3, it says daily sales of bottled or canned drinks from the WO cafeteria. So you can't sell half a drink, so this is discrete data. And in terms of whether or not you're going to make this a bar graph or a line graph, really does depend on how long this is going to go on for. I would actually choose this to be written as a line graph, particularly if you're looking at it beyond 1 week. So if you just had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and that was it, then I would just make a bar graph. But if you're looking at it, over the period of September to the end of June, for example, a line graph would be the best way to show the trends of people purchasing soft drinks over the course of an entire year. So I would argue that this is probably best as written as a line graph. Okay. So now we get into actually taking a look at measures of central tendency. And these are things that you've looked at before. Okay. And so measures of central tendency provide information on the center of a data set. Okay. And a data set just means a set of numbers or a list of numbers. That's all it means. Okay. So a data set is just another way of saying a list of numbers. Okay. Just a fancy way of saying that. So a mean is the average of a data set. Okay, so in a data set, what you do is to figure out the mean. You add up all the values in the data set, and then you divide by the number of values in the data set. So let's say, for example, I had 3, 7, and 12. Okay, so those are the numbers that are in my data set, and I want to figure out the average number. Okay, well, what I need to do is I need to add them all up. So 3 plus 7 is 10, plus 12 is 22, and then I have to divide by the number of values in that data set. So there's 1, 2, 3 values in that data set, so I'm going to divide that by 3. Okay, and so if I do 22 divided by 3, my average number is about 7.3. 3 will be repeating. Okay, so my mean is actually 7.3. Okay, the next one that we'll look at is median. Okay, and median is the middle number of the data set. Okay, and so we're going to sort the data from the smallest to the largest. And so let's say our data set here, we've got 3, 7, 12. It's already sorted for you in order from smallest to largest. Okay, if there's an odd number of values, it's in the exact middle. Okay, so in this case, I have an odd number of values, so I have 3 numbers. So my median in this case, is 7. Okay. However, if I throw in an extra number, then suddenly becomes an even number value. Then I need to calculate the average of the middle two values. So let's say, for example, just kind of divide that out, put a break there. Let's say I have the numbers 3, 7, 12, and then I add another number, and I don't know, I'll add 21. Okay, so now I have 4 numbers in my data set. So I don't have a middle number. The middle number is actually somewhere between these two. Okay, so my two middle numbers, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. The middle is somewhere in this area. Okay, it's between 7 and 12. So what I need to do is I actually need to calculate the average or the mean of the middle two values. Okay, so I'm going to do that just quickly off to the side. I've got 7 plus 12 divided by 2. So 7 plus 12 is 19. Divide 19 by 2 is 9.5. Okay, so in this case, my mean, my median number is going to be 9.5. Okay, let's write that out a little better. 9.5. Okay, so my mean is going to be 9.5. Finally, the mode is the value that happens most often. Okay, and it's possible to have several modes. So let's say I have a data set that has the number 2, 3, 5, 3, 6, 9, 7, 3. Okay, so I have a whole bunch of numbers, and the mode is the number that happens most often. So in this case, I have the number 3 that actually repeats 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so in this case, my mode is equal to 3. Okay, so there is a difference between mean, median, and mode. Mean and median are probably the ones that you're going to see most often. And mean you're going to use frequently. It's simply the average of a data set. Median is a number right in the middle, and that's going to be really important when we look at measures of spread. And so being able to calculate that median value is going to be critical as we go forward. Okay, mode, you should be able to see it as we go through multiple times.